So, ladies and gentlemen, you know about the different musical British invasions over the years, the Beatles all the way to the 70s and 80s in the modern era. But at one point in the late 1990s, there was a boxing invasion from Britain, and it only could be one person. The man they called Prince, Naseem Hamed. Now, we're going to talk today not about his career, but his very important fight against a very well-regarded Kevin Kelley. Now, this contest was for the WBO featherweight crown on December 19, 1997 at Madison Square Garden. Now, this was his American debut, and it was called by different names, but the one was called Here on Business, Naz. Now, after defeating Jose Badia in October 97, it was announced that the British sensation, Hamed, would make his long-awaited American debut just 2 months later to take on former WBC featherweight champ Kevin Kelley. Now, at the time, Kelley was the WB holder, and ironically, both fighters were southpaws. So you can imagine there was going to be a lot of leather in his bout. Hamed at the time was undefeated as a pro, sporting a 28-0 record and had become well regarded for his knockout power, with all but two of his fights having been won by way of KO. And as well, his dramatic ring entrances to music and egotistical style and his flip into the ring had made him, famous pretty well throughout the world and only certain sections of the States. But as soon as the publicity of his fight started, you knew that he was going to be an international superstar. Anyway, due to both his fighting style and flamboyant personality, Prince had also quickly become one of boxing's most popular and hated fighters, and had become the highest paid featherweight in the sport, earning over $12 million in purses and endorsements the year prior. While HBO was the aired about on his World Championship Boxing program, had both signed Hamed to an exclusive 6-fight, $12 million contract to air his battles. And he also spent $1 million on a publicity campaign to promote Hamed prior to the fight with Kelley. Now, Kelley had lost the WC crown in early 95, but had gone undefeated in 8 fights since, and had picked up again the less-regarded WBU version of the crown in February 96. Hamed had angered Kelley prior to the match, because as a New York native, with his trash talking, he gave it back to Kelley, noting, "I could have brought Kevin Kelley to my own backyard and bet him up there, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to come to his own backyard and bring him down in front of his own crowd." Kelley responded by saying, "The first round I'm going straight for that big mouth. I've been saving up everything for the bell." Now, Hamed, who was also known for his flashy ring entrances in his native England, made a lengthy entrance for his U.S. debut, where he danced behind the screen to Will Smith's Men in Black from the movie the same name, before entering the arena to Red Rat's Shelly Ann on a fashion runway while confetti rained down from the ceiling, before he finally entered the ring with his trademark flip over the ropes. Now, Kelley wasn't too pleased. I'm going to watch the fight. It had to be between 8 and 12 minutes before he got into the ring. Now, the fight would become an action-packed match from the outset, as the slugfest featured 3 knockdowns for each fighter, and Hamed, basically in a strong approach, started the fight on the offense, landing more punches as Kelley struggled with Hamed's unorthodox fighting style. With a minute left in the round, Hamed had backed Kelley into one of the corners. However, Kelley was able to catch Hamed with a leaping right hook as Hamed stepped back to send him to the mat for the fight's first knockdown. Hamed was quickly able to get back to his feet and escaped the round without any further damage. Now, Kelley, on a roll, began round 2 as the aggressor and scored a second knockdown over Hamed after landing a left hook that dazed Hamed and made both gloves touch the canvas as Prince attempted to hold himself up from going down. After Hamed took a standing 8, Kelley swarmed him in hopes of landing another knockdown and began swinging wildly as Hamed attempted to dodge his punches. He eventually sidestepped Kelley, causing Kelley to miss completely and fall to the canvas, though the referee ruled it as a slip. Kelley would continue to chase the champion before Hamed countered with a straight right hand that sent Kelley down for Hamed's first knockdown of the fight. Kelley would answer to the standing 8 count, and both fighters made it out of the round. After both battlers took a more cautious approach in round 3, the action would resume intently in the 4th round, as about a minute and a half into the stanza, Hamed landed 2 left hooks that sent Kelley down for a second time. Kelley was again able to continue, but Hamed continued to throw punches at Kelley. Now, Kelley eventually countered with a right hook, and Hamed's right glove again touched the canvas, eventually giving Kelley his third knockdown of Hamed. After the fight resumed following the standing 8 count, Kelley looked to regain his momentum as he drove Hamed back, but Hamed would land a hard left to send Kelley down for the third time. Kelley was able to get back to his knees, but was clearly hurt and could not get back to his feet as the referee reached the count of 10, giving Hamed the knockout victory at 2:27 of the fourth round. Now, what was kind of ironic here, ladies and gentlemen, in the semi-main event, you had a big super bantamweight match between Kennedy McKinney, of all people, against Junior Jones. And McKinney won the belt from Junior with the same 4 round. But Naseem seemed to be ready to fight in this match, but he was a little bit overexcited. Now, Kelley had suffered damage in previous fights, and not really sure if Hamed was trying a little bit too much offense and then knocked down Kelley, or he had a plan. But Naseem Hamed was alleged to have some hand problems entering the fight. He had suffered some, stretch fractures over the time. But for a champion like that to be knocked down a few times, even inadvertently, in a big fight like that, was quite interesting. Now, the fight itself, I didn't see it live. I taped it and watched the next morning, and the way I saw the fight early, I thought for sure Prince was going to lose. And, he basically got out. Now, Naseem got $2 million for the fight, while Kevin Kelley got the paltry $500,000. Now, Prince had drew a lot of viewers previously. Now, the fight that evening was watched by 2.525 million viewers on HBO, giving it a 10.1 Nielsen rating among HBO's 25 million subscribers, significantly higher than HBO's regular 8.5 average. In the UK, the fight was broadcast pay-per-view on the Sky box office, and some really, really good totals. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just to look this in perspective, what Prince had meant to boxing, and he meant a lot, ladies and gentlemen. His major fights were always big draws. Now, he eventually, of course, lost to Marco Antonio Barrera, eventually, but for the time he had left, the pay-per-view buys were strong. Against Ramigo Molina, he was 420,000 buys. Against Tom Johnson, 720. Billy Hardy, 348. Ogie Sanchez, 300,000. And Marco Antonio Barrera, again, 310,000. And the viewership, again, through the friggin' roof, ladies and gentlemen. On ITV, against Amando Castro in 95, 6.4 million. Against Sergio Rafael Leando, 13 million. Against Juan Gerardo Cabrera on Sky, 831. Against Kevin Kelley, like I said, the big fight, 2.525 million. Against Wilfredo Vasquez, 2.5 million. Against Wayne McCullough, 3.2 million. And his last fight of his career against Manuel Calvo on Sky, 11 million. So total known viewership for his major fights, 41 million viewers, ladies and gentlemen. Tremendous. But if you're a person of a certain age, you like boxing, and you don't know about the Prince, you should go back on YouTube and check some of his fights. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. His entrance, you could go to the fridge, but the problem is 10 to 15 minutes. You wouldn't see that in 2022 where a fighter was taking 15 to 20 minutes to come to the ring. There was no regulation on ring entrances at the time. And Kevin Kelley was pretty pissed off, which were a lot of fighters. But Marco Antonio Barrera said after defeating Prince, it doesn't matter how long it takes to get to the ring. I'm going to beat him. So, ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is dedicated to our great fan of boxing, my BC pal, my brother from another mother, Derek Hamilton, former amateur boxer himself, former tough man, stuntman, actor, all-around good guy, Stone Basin. Derek can tell you, like I can tell you, nothing like a good Prince Naseem Hamed fight on a Saturday night. If there's nothing on TV, just get a bottle of pop or a case of beer, and just watched when the Prince was the king of the British boxing scene, Chris Eubanks as well. What a great time for boxing, ladies and gentlemen. The rebirth of British boxing, which led, of course, to the international aspect with the Klitschko's and stuff like that. But Prince on the card, ladies and gentlemen, what a charismatic guy that guy was. And like I said, he was like a shooting star, bright for a while, and 5, 10 years, and that was it. Thanks for listening. Bye.